What's going on? I got a 2007 Mercedes E350 and I'm removing the EIS. I bought this car from the auction with no key, but apparently with these Mercedes, you can take the EIS, which is basically the ignition switch, ignition box, and you can send it off and they can make you a key and send it back to you. But they gotta have a box to do it. It's way cheaper than going through Mercedes or a locksmith. I think the cheapest quote I got for a key for this car was like $450, $500. So you gotta take the dash, not the dash, but you gotta take the cluster gauge out. And you can see you got one bolt, two bolts, and another bolt, and a bolt at the top. This little cover piece, this little trim piece over the gauge cluster, it just pops off. So you just pull it off, and you got 4 bolts on the gauge cluster. That's the plug to the gauge cluster. You gotta, when it's on, it's like that. And you gotta push that tab right there down and pull this gray piece back. And as you push this gray piece down, it'll pull the plug out. And then that's where the ignition goes. You got the little ring deal that sits up there like that. And I took a piece like this and stuck it in there and twisted it, and then it just screws off like a nut, and then it pulls off. And then I was able to just push the ignition on into the dash. And then I had 3 bolts going into that straight up. There's 1, 2, 3. And then to get the actual ignition out, it's a bolt behind this little frame piece. And you gotta kind of put the socket onto the ratchet and kind of just feel your way back there. It's tight, and turn. It's a bracket that you gotta get out of the way to where you can slide the ignition out through the bottom.